And we are pleased to bring Senator Ted Cruz to the show this morning. Great to have you back, Senator, and perfect timing. I'm saying this is just another crisis that the president's walking into, and it's a crisis of his own making. You with me on this?
Well, I am. Good morning, Stuart. Good to be with you. You know, it is amazing on policy after policy, the hypocrisy that Joe Biden and the left shows. When it comes to climate, John Kerry is in all likelihood going to fly to this climate conference in his private jet. He flies just about everywhere in a private jet. So he lectures everyone on climate. You know, when I come up to D.C., I'm flying on Southwest Airlines. I'm sitting in a commercial plane like everybody else, but not John Kerry. And he explained, he said, this is a paraphrase, but he said, look, for someone like me, it makes sense to fly private everywhere. Well, look, Thurston Howell, that's fine, but you're very happy destroying people's jobs in Texas and all across the country and lecturing us. And the amazing thing is, if you examine the Biden administration's policies, they don't actually believe what they're saying. So when they talk about climate, they talk in apocalyptic terms about how carbon emissions are going to destroy the economy, going to destroy the world. The very first thing Joe Biden did as president is he ended the Keystone pipeline. With one stroke of a pen, he destroyed 11,000 jobs, including 8,000 high-paying union jobs. And that made the environment worse. Why is that? Because the Canadians are not going to leave the oil in the tar sands. They're producing that oil, and they're either going to send it south on trucks or on trains, or they're going to send it west on ships to China. Either one of those pollutes more, emits more carbon, and has a much greater risk of a spill than a pipeline. So they make the environment worse. They're doing the same thing by targeting and destroying U.S. energy production, going after oil and gas producers in America, shutting them down, putting burdens on them, and then at the same time asking OPEC, asking Russia to produce more. OPEC and Russia produce oil and gas that is dirtier than American oil and gas. So once again, their radical agenda doesn't meet their own stated objectives, and it ends up polluting more and doing more damage to the environment.
How about the border? We know that thousands of migrants are marching through Mexico. They're headed to our southern border. My question to you, Senator, is what is the administration doing as this new caravan approaches? And what will Texas people, Texas troopers, and the National Guard, what are they going to do when those migrants hit the Texas border?
Well, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the immediate cause of this border crisis. This caravan is a result of their own political decisions. We're on a path for more than 2 million people to cross illegally this year alone, the highest rate in 35 years. And it is tragic. It is a humanitarian crisis. It's a public health crisis. It's a national security crisis. And Biden and the Democrats don't care. They look at this caravan of illegal immigrants, and what they see are future Democratic voters. And so they're fine with the thousands of little boys and little girls who are being physically assaulted and sexually assaulted by the human traffickers bringing them in. They're fine with the 24% rate of COVID positivity at the Biden cages in the Rio Grande Valley, which I've been to. They're fine with the fact that terrorists, people on the terror watch list, violent criminals are among those streaming into this country, and they're not allowing, Biden and Harris are not allowing the Border Patrol to do their job. You know, Stuart, last week, I decided to take them at their word, and they say, gosh, you should be just fine with 2 million illegal immigrants coming to America. I said, okay, fine. I introduced legislation called the Stop the Surge Act.
Yes, I saw that.
Creates 13 new ports of entry in all the fancy locales where Democrats like to have their cocktail parties. So, for example, it creates a new port of entry in Martha's Vineyard, a new port of entry in Nantucket, a new port of entry in Greenwich, Connecticut. And you know, let's see how John Kerry feels while he's at the vineyard sipping his cocktails when you have week after week after week 10, 20, 30, 50,000 illegal immigrants being dropped off there. Suddenly, I think they're lecturing us that Texas should be just fine with this, might have a very different tenor.
I've often said, Senator, that sarcasm is a low form of wit, but I think you've raised it to a much higher level, and that was a fine thing to do. Senator Cruz, anytime you want on the show, you ask us, and you're on. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.